welcome.
Thank you, Carol.
You obviously have a long history in MLS, so tell us a little bit about, I'm sorry, I'm with the Charlotte Ledger. Tell us a little bit about the decision to come here and how this came to pass.
Yeah, it was something that, I've known Aaron Hyde, the goalkeeper coach, for a really long time now. When I was at Northwestern, I worked with him when he was a goalkeeper coach at the Chicago Fire. So him and I have a very long-standing relationship, and it all started to develop kind of around Christmas time where, I was at Bolton and enjoying my time, truthfully, over in England, and it's something that I had always aspired to do and test myself and play overseas. But when the opportunity came and to come back to the MLS, which, I've spent most of my career in the MLS, and I really enjoyed my time in the MLS. It's a fantastic league, and it's just continuing to grow, and so it just seemed like a really good opportunity for me to come back.
I know you've had a lot of impact seasons. How do you kind of look at gunning for a start? Competing with Kalina. Like, what kind of role do you see yourself taking here?
Well, I really respect Kalina. I think he's one of the top goalkeepers in the league, and I think what I can bring to the table is that competitive edge every single day in training. And I'm somebody that believes that iron sharpens iron, and when you have two guys battling out in the goalkeeper position, obviously there's only one that's going to play, but you're always going to get the best out of both players. And so as a group, I think that we will be able to create a really good competitive environment, something that ultimately, no matter who is playing, will help the team succeed this year.
Great, thank you.
Of course.
Hey, Tyler.
Hey, Brian.
I'm Brian from Top Bid 90.
Yeah.
I had a couple questions. You mentioned Northwestern. I maybe circle back a little bit to your college days. I know it's been a little while, but Coach Russell is there with them now. Are you still following Northwestern or the college game at all?
I follow it loosely. I'm in contact with Coach Russ every now and again and checking in with the guys. I did a Zoom call with them while I was over in Manchester and seeing how they're doing, trying to give them some insight into my time in college and how it's still a valuable pathway for a lot of players that want to become pro. I think the college game, the way it can change and evolve and fit into the world of football and soccer, and how we need to help develop players that maybe they don't go into the academy system directly. Maybe they have to take a different pathway, because I was one of those players that had to take a different pathway to become a pro. So it's a true opportunity that I think guys need to look at heavily and consider if they're not in the academy, that this could be a genuine pathway like I did. I never planned on staying all 3.5 seasons at Northwestern. I tried to leave every single opportunity I got, but it ultimately ended up being some of the best times of my life, some of my closest friends that I still have today, and I'm really appreciative of my time at Northwestern.
Nice. And then what lessons did you learn when you went abroad this last stretch at Bolton do you feel like you can bring back now to returning to MLS, where you spent the majority of your career?
The biggest thing for me was the appreciation that I now hold for the MLS. The grass is not always greener. It's not always, brighter and bigger lights and everything when you do go abroad. The amount of challenges that I had to go through, which, I would love to touch on it at some future date, just to make it over there was not as simple as a club signing me and me just walking in there and everything being gifted to me. I actually had to test myself deep, reach into my own pockets and really, continue my career going in the direction that I wanted it to go. And it was something that was really challenging on me, but not only me, also on my family, because I have a wife and a young daughter that we had nothing, and we decided to move over to England with no contract, no guarantees, and just decided that we're going to make it work. And that's also the mindset that I have, is that, if I put my mind to it, I'm going to make it work. And so that's also what I think I can help bring to this club as well.
Awesome. Thank you, Tyler.
Yeah.
Look forward to talking more.
Of course.
Hey Tyler, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. I'm Arturo Escotegi with Noventa Sports. How important has been talking to somebody like Dean Smith, who has quite a big understanding of football in England or soccer in England, in your transition back into MLS, given the challenges that you're mentioning you had over your time abroad?
Well, I wouldn't consider them challenges. I just consider them more obstacles that I had to find a solution to, which in every case I did. I think speaking to Dean as well as the other English players, they gave a good fresh perspective on kind of what I was going through and where I was at. And in League One especially, there's a lot of challenges. It is a really strong league. You have a lot of Prem players coming down on loan, or you have former Championship, former Prem players that are competing in that league. So it's not an easy league. And you have, Bolton, who is a former Premier League club. They have high expectations. Their supporters have high demands, and so every match they expected you to win. And so there obviously comes a lot of pressure with playing in that. But it was something I thrived on, I really enjoyed. And you're going from playing in Bolton where you have 23,000 people, but then you're going and playing on a difficult pitch on a windy night somewhere, and there's only 5,000 people. But it's still a hostile, difficult environment. So I think it just gave me a fresh perspective on everything in general. And it was something that, I'll always look back on fondly in my career.
And coming to Charlotte, how have you seen the team this preseason? You had a few minutes on the last friendly, I guess, against the Sporting KC. Just take us a little bit through your time in Charlotte so far.
Yeah, it's been brief so far, but I think that we have a good group of guys. We've got really good pieces. We're building good depth, good chemistry, and I think that the guys get on really well off the pitch, and so I think that will help translate onto results on the pitch. And so for me, I think it's a good opportunity to build on something, because since Charlotte's been in the league, they've been a successful club. And I think that we have opportunity too, that we can make a deep run in the Open Cup, the Leagues Cup, as well as in the regular season. And so it's obviously, last year they didn't finish far off the top spot in the East. And so I think that we're adding dynamic pieces that can help kind of get us over the line, I think, when it comes down the stretch of the season this year.
Thank you.
Hey Tyler, this is Jason Brown. I'm with Spectrum News 1. Welcome to Charlotte. Although, even though I know you're not in Charlotte physically anymore, I'm curious, when you talked about the grass and always being greener, obviously you're a veteran of the MLS. How have you seen, in your opinion, the league evolve? And apologies if that's not really a fair question, since you've been away from the league for a brief time.
I would say that there hasn't been this huge change in the year that I was away from the league. But, this is going into my 11th year involved in the MLS, in and around it. And so from the time that I started in this league to where it is now, I mean, you have guys that were having to work second jobs in order to just pay their bills. Whereas now it's truly a professional league that players can make a real earning, a real living on. And when I was away from the league, I was still watching it. I'd still wake up in the night to watch as many matches as I could and follow it. And there's just certain things that the MLS does so well that we have over here that you don't always have the perspective and you kind of take for granted. So for me, I felt like it was just the right time for me to come back to the league and really enjoy my time here. And the English culture that this club has specifically is something that I've really been able to embrace and enjoy since coming back here.
And then the last one I have for you is and I don't know if you can even speak to this, with your brief time with the club, but you talked about depth and what you're building there. I would imagine, goaltender, obviously there's only one that plays the majority of the time, but injuries can happen. How important is to have the depth at that position? And there's a lot of young goalkeepers currently on FC's roster that, could be, playing at Crown Legacy and someday could get their chance. Do you like the depth that this club has built from what you've seen?
Of course. Yeah, I've only been here for a few weeks, so I'm still, getting familiar with everybody that's at this club, but you need competition in every single position. You need depth, and I think that the Charlotte's gone out and added a lot of key pieces this offseason, and I think we'll probably add some more as well soon. But it's something that, in order to have a successful season, you can't just rely on 11 players. You're going to need everybody on the team, and it really comes from how players show up every day in training, because in training, what you do there is going to lead into how you perform in the games, and so that's the most important message that I can give to everybody.
Yeah, my apologies. I meant more like the depth at the goalkeeper position. I mean, there's a lot of young guys behind you and Kalina and so forth that, are trying to, grow their game and so forth. I mean, you sort of look back and see those guys at that age, and you can, obviously sort of understand with the position that they're in, and remember your time there.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I've been in their shoes. And a lot of those guys are ahead of where I was at their age. I mean, some of them are training every day with full professional teams, whereas at 18 I was at university. So it's very different, and a lot of these guys are getting ahead of it. And so goalkeeper is one of those positions where you never know when your opportunity is going to come. But you do have a long career, a long shelf life if you're smart about how you take care of your body. And so it's something that I'll work with these guys and help develop them and give them as many insights as they're willing to take. And I think we have a good group of veteran players here that will obviously help them along as well.
Hey Tyler, Jorge here with Soccer Sheet. Quick question. I know they already asked you about coming back to MLS, but what made this coming here to Charlotte specifically intriguing to you?
I have a really good relationship with the goalkeeper coach, Aaron, and so he was instrumental in me coming back here. And so when the opportunity came up to work with him, Aaron obviously has a very strong pedigree with what he's done in the MLS, but as well as with the U.S. national team. And so, whenever there's an opportunity to work with one of the top goalkeeper coaches in the country, it's difficult to turn down, because that's the instrumental piece for myself and for all the goalkeepers that are here.
And what do you feel like you want to take away from your time here? Even, getting potential minutes, or, iron sharpens iron.
Yeah, I mean, it's only just started, and so I'm just, I'm looking forward to getting to know the guys more, letting them get to know me. And then, obviously everywhere I go, I want to win a trophy and win something. And so that's my goal in the span that I'm at Charlotte.
Hey Tyler, Will Gittins from AS USA. You come back to the league with a lot of experience in MLS. You're part of the Seattle team that won MLS Cup, the LAFC team that won the Supporters Shield. I just wondered, coming back to the league now, are there any lessons you take from those really successful teams that you're hoping to bring into Charlotte?
Yeah, I always try to draw on my past experiences with every club that I go to. When I was in Seattle, we had one of the best team chemistries I've ever been a part of, and I think that ultimately led to, two successful MLS Cups. One obviously we won, one we lost. That's how it goes. But I think that what we had off the field ultimately took the pressure away of what we had to do on the pitch. That's always going to be there, but we knew we could rely on each other, and so I think that we have really good team chemistry here so far. And so I think that that's something that we can draw on. And then, you always need a special player, somebody that's going to perform, and which is what we had in LAFC with Carlos Vela, where he scored 34 goals. He had obviously an unbelievable season, but we had an unbelievable team there as well. I think it often gets overlooked that we only conceded, I think, in all the matches I played, I think I played 30 matches, we conceded 30 goals, and so we had a really strong defensive effort as well there that ultimately helped that team to be successful.
Yeah, absolutely. And then just of those two competitions, Supporters Shield, MLS Cup, which, in your opinion, is the bigger challenge? And of the two, which would you really focus on this season, do you think?
Well, I think they go hand in hand, but I think the most difficult one is to win the Supporter Shield because you have to be consistent over 34 matches. The MLS Cup, you can be the last team in and still end up winning. You just go on a good run of form. So for me, it's the Supporter Shield, but obviously they're both good trophies to have at the end of the day.
I don't know if I can jump in, but I just wanted to follow up. You mentioned there are things that the MLS did well that you missed. What are some of those things?
I think just the consistencies and the league, the growth that it's had, the facilities, everything that the league offers, how well they take care of their players, and it is quickly growing into one of the top leagues in the world. And I think you see that in the way that they take care of their players here versus what I have experienced.
And some the obstacles you mentioned soccer ones overseas. What about personally? Was that part of it? Adjusting to the culture over there?
I didn't have any difficulty adjusting to the culture, but yeah, I think that there's a lot that went into my process of moving over there that I think I'll get into at a later stage. But it was not an easy transition, just personally, sporting-wise, everything. And I had to jump through a lot of hoops and take a chance. And, I want to say I spent tens of thousands of dollars just to keep my career going over there, personally. And so that was something that, had to be done, and I was willing to make that sacrifice and had the support of my wife while I was doing that. And so without her, it wouldn't have been possible. But thankfully, she enjoys London, she enjoys England, and we had a great experience over there.
Is she from New Jersey as well, or?
No, she's from Los Angeles.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Harry, something that's been kind of coming up around American soccer culture lately, especially after the USL announced that they're doing a promotion relegation system. It's been a debate for a long time whether or not Pro-rel versus a closed system creates more competitiveness or heightened level of competition from the players. You're familiar with Pro-rel and specifically Championship and Premier League. What is kind of your take on just, does promotion relegation have a way of bringing out more competitiveness for the players, or can the same be seen from a closed system?
I can see both sides has its strengths, but definitely promotion relegation for me is something that I'd always been brought up in, and you never want to get relegated, and your goal is to get promoted. And if you can't get promoted, you want to win the league because you're in the top league. So I think it's definitely important. I think when you sort of see it towards the end of the season, when there's 5-10 games left, and I know the MLS there's no relegation, so teams do fall away and they start planning for the next season, where this would keep the league extremely competitive. So I do see a lot of strengths in it, but I also see the other side and how America have created the MLS, and they've got their rules, and it's working to this point. The only thing that I feel they miss out is the younger players in the team don't get the opportunity to have the loan system that they have in England as well, where players can go and play 15 games, come back a lot more mature, and stuff like that. That's the only thing I feel like America's lacking, is the opportunity for the younger players to go and play.
And then Patrick Argiman, Adelson Malanda, several other MLS players have hit the ground running really fast, specifically this winter in Championship. Where do you feel like MLS and Championship now is in terms of competitiveness overall between the two leagues? Because that's another big discussion lately.
Yeah, but well, I had a big shock when I moved out here. The quality and the level that the players are at, the athleticism is amazing. It just shows you how close the leagues actually are. Yes, in the MLS you have the standout players. In the Championship you could have 5, 10, 15 players, all of that ability. So you have named 2 very good players that have gone over there as well, who had great careers here at Charlotte. But it does show you that the gap's getting smaller. You probably would have had this conversation 5 years ago, 10 years ago. You'd have been saying how big it is, and you'd probably be comparing it to League One. But now you can see the level. You've got players in this division that could play in the Premier League. So it's an exciting league, and it's growing rapidly, even in the short time I've been here.
Awesome. Thank you, Harry.
Hey, Harry.
Hey,
How are you?
very good.
Thanks. Good. Thanks. You came in last August. You played a few matches. Obviously, were very important towards the last portion of the season last season. What did you learn that you will now use going into a full season with the team under Dean Smith?
I'm excited because I get a pre-season. It's something that I came in August and the season was fully up and running. And the lads were at 100%. I came in naturally, not having a pre-season below that, so you're playing catch-up. So I'm looking forward to having a full pre-season with the team. I've been able to get to know the lads better, which I think going away to Miami and Coachella is fantastic because you are on top of each other and you get to know people and you're spending time with players probably you wouldn't do if you were just still in Charlotte. So I do think definitely that that's going to help, like little things, working better with players in training because I'm able to train with them now. Having the injury didn't help, sort of put a bit of a block on me getting into the training field. But no, it's been really good and the lads have been great. And the squad this year's amazing. The depth we've got, the players we have, the club have done excellent with their recruitment already. They've added real value to the field and they've added real value off the pitch as well. So it's exciting and like I hear this word veteran, which I don't like, but as soon as you apparently get over 30, you're a veteran now. So, but I can use that experience and what I know, but also let them do their own thing and let them show everyone what they can do.
And one word that has been very well used during this preseason has been fitness or fit. How you guys showed up and everybody was really fit, that you were preparing in the off season towards this new season, preseason and new season. What do you think has been key for you guys to come in and just be fit? We've seen you guys in a couple of friendlies already, and I know results during preseason don't mean much, but something that has been highlighted for you has been how the team is completely fit. What do you think has been the key or the mentality you guys had during off season to come back and just be completely ready to tackle on this new season?
I think the drive's there. I think we were disappointed in the playoffs, something that we look back on now and we wanted to be better, so we don't want to be in that position again. We want to go and achieve the goal. The manager, the coach has made it very clear that he wants to win a trophy, and that starts in pre-season in the conversations he's been having with us, and you've got to drive within the group, which is great. Like I said, the new players coming in have added real value. The players that were here last year, players have been here for many years at this club. We want to win something, so the lads looked after themselves during the off season. The fitness staff put an incredible plan together, and it just shows you the strength we have in the backroom staff. That we all come in and we do this Bronco test, and they were telling us you have to get under this time, and we all absolutely smashed it. And I think it's a bit of a shock to everyone. Everyone was like, "Oh wow, everyone's in a good place here." So, but I think you can tell in the friendly games we've played already, we're running over teams already, and I think the manager's made that clear, and the fitness staff, that we want to be fitter. I know that's come from Zoran as well. That we need to be fitter, we need to be better, and then it will take care of itself.
Thank you.
Hey Harry, I'm Will Gittins. Just got on the point about pre-season. This is your first one in the US, so probably you've had a Christmas break for the first time in your career, and then you're getting pre-season underway in the middle of winter. How's that been for you, and how's that affected how you prepare for the season?
I thought it was going to be better because I thought it's not going to be as hot, because normally we do pre-season in July and it's hot. That's reasonably hot compared to obviously North Carolina, but it's hot in England, and then we normally go away. But we've come to the Armageddon back home with the snowstorm and the ice storm, and and then we've come out here and Miami's cold as well. So I feel like the English have just brought the cold over. But it's been great. Like I said, it's been so important for myself personally to get a pre-season. Having missed one last year, obviously after leaving Forest to then coming in, I didn't get a pre-season, and keeping myself in the best possible condition during the off-season, coming in, doing extra bits of work, working with the young lads, working with some of the Crown Legacy coaches, is something that I wanted to do because I don't want to get injured. And I think the best thing I can give the coach is availability and fitness, and then the quality will take care of itself. But I don't want to get injured this season. I want to show the Charlotte fans the real value that I bring to the team, and when you do get injured, it kind of kills your momentum. So I'm trying to put myself in the best possible place that when we start having the games coming week in, week out, the lads are getting fitter, we're getting stronger, and I already can tell week by week we're getting stronger in pre-season. So.
Nice, sounds good. And then just on the preparations now, you mentioned earlier the kind of designated player structure there is in MLS. For you, I guess particularly as a defender, does that change the preparation a lot? Like knowing that every week you're going to have one or two standout players you're going to come up against?
Yeah, me and Nathan had a joke about it. That usually the best players are on the wing, so we were like, we're going to have fun at every game. So, but no, it's good. You want to put yourself up against the best in the league, and that shows you. And you don't want to be playing against the lesser player in the team. You want to be playing against the best because you back yourself to stop him. Our DPs are great. The first time I actually had the opportunity to play with Pep as well. I really enjoyed it, me, Pep and Wilf. So that was exciting, and we got a lot of the ball down the left. And yeah, I heard he was really good, and now I've played with him and I think he's even better. So the DPs we have are great, and it's just going to be exciting, and it comes with the territory of a fullback, I'm afraid. You just have to defend all the quick guys, the skillful guys, and that's just part of the job.
Hey, Harry, how are you?
Very good. How are you?
Pretty good. In not getting injured aside, what is your goals for this upcoming season? Now that you got a little bit of taste of it here in the back end and some during the playoffs.
I want to be the best left back in the league. That's the objective. I want to contribute goals and assists. I'm not going to tell you my goals. They're my personal ones that I want to achieve, and whether they're game by game, month by month, I've always got something that I want to get to. And I just want I want Charlotte to be feared in the league. I want us to be the team that we're not nice to play against, but also in both sides of the game. Defensively, we can't break them down, but going forward, it's like we say in England, the red arrows. So it's like we're going everywhere. So I'm excited about that, and I just want us to compete at the highest level and drive standards every day in training, drive standards every day at home, be professional, and that'll take care of itself.
And how do you feel like the new additions and also the young defenders have contributed or added to what a good backline that there already is?
Yeah, the fans should be excited. You guys should be excited as well. It's Zoran and his team are building a very, very good side. One that a lot of the lads know each other from other clubs, and it's been quite easy for those players to transition in. And it's an exciting time. We're looking forward to it. And like I say, every single day, whilst we're away, because we're on top of each other, we're getting closer. We're getting to know each other, what they like to do. Right, I don't speak to Wilf before 8 o'clock in the morning, stuff like that. And it's just having that camaraderie in the group and being able to spend time and like I say, I keep reiterating it, just getting to know each other, because at the end of the day we're human beings and we all kick a football and we're good at it. But there is a human behind that who's most of the time a dad, stressed dad, and then all stuff like that, and that's just life. So, but it's exciting and we're looking forward to it.
Appreciate it.
So Wilf is not a morning person?
No, I take that back. Sorry, Wolf. You're amazing. I love you.
Do the kids enjoy the snow without you?
I'm gutted. I've been having videos and photos the whole time, and I don't like the cold, but snow is when the dads come out to play. So I think they've had an upgrade. My mum and dad are there in North Carolina at the minute, and she bought them a sled. But the other day we were on the kitchen things you put garlic bread on. So they've had an upgrade, so they're probably happy I'm not there because I wasn't going to buy them all. But no, of course they are. They're loving it. They've got no school, but they've now realised that homeschooling isn't fun. And they can't just sit on the PlayStation all day. They actually have to do work. But no, it's good, and we all remember what we like with kids. We love the snow. We go out there for 15 minutes, then we cry for 15 minutes because our hands are too cold, and then we go back out in an hour. So that's basically what my wife's dealing with at the minute.
Bless her. I know. I think you and Wolf played together for about 2 seconds, and we're already finding chemistry last year. So how excited are you, kind of, to see what develops this year, and with Pep thrown in, obviously?
Yeah. I love Wolf. I think he's amazing, and he's a great guy. You guys don't probably get to see the off the pitch that I get to experience with Wolf. But he's a great guy, and like I say, adding Pep into that is making me really excited for the season. And we're looking forward to doing that. We're linking really well, and it's almost like you have the sixth sense. You know, I know what Wolf's going to do now, and I think that when you first come in, you're trying to work out the players in front of you, and we've got a good chemistry of knowing where he's going to be, where I should be, and vice versa for him. He knows if I go, he needs to do certain things, and that stems ultimately from the head coach, who's got his methods and philosophy of playing, and the club recruiting 2 people that get on really well and are linking well on the pitch.
And what about Schnegg? I mean, he plays your position, right? So you want depth, I guess. He's had some pretty good plays early on in the preseason. Is that something where you guys like pushing each other? You respect his game?
Yeah, I love Schnegg. He's come in and he's a great guy, and he's exactly what this club needs. He's got experience of the league. Off the pitch, he's one of the best guys. One of the best guys to hang around with, and on the pitch we've seen his quality with what he's done so far in pre-season. The best seasons I've ever had is when I've had competition, because it pushes you, because you can't get complacent, but it gives the manager an opportunity as well to, if someone's tired, someone's fatigued, if you've got the depth, then you're bringing on players that can be just as good and come on and do a job for the team, which sometimes we felt like we missed out on a little bit last year. We've now got the depth in the whole group where it's exciting.
Thanks so much, Harry.
If I can add one more in, what are you learning, without giving out so much detail, but like what are you learning about this squad for this year, and what can fans and people watching can expect?
Aggressive front foot team. That's the messages. Carry on from what we've done. We're winning games, a lot of games last year, but you have to adapt. You have to change certain things, and the game's evolving all the time. So, but we have our values, we have the things we believe in, and we fully back the head coach of what he's doing. The new lads have come in and said how great he is and how good of a coach he is. So, when you've got the buy-in already from the lads here, and then the lads coming in, it's exciting, and we'll just see where it goes.
Thank you so much. Enjoy Florida and Coachella.
Thank you. Hopefully it warms up.
I have one for you. Sporting Kansas City was first opportunity to play competition against MLS.
Yeah.
What did you guys feel like you took from that match? And obviously we have more coming up in Coachella. What are you looking to take from that match to carry over? And what was kind of the message from the coach?
Well, it's similar in England. You always play like the Charleston team. You play a non-league team, which is probably what Charleston is equivalent in America. And then you start to play the teams in the league, and you start to see where your fitness is at and the quality of the game. Before we controlled the game pretty much throughout the whole thing, and it just showed you how fit we were. The numbers were great after, and we keep reiterating about fitness. And at this point of the season, you can really see that coming through. But it's always nice to play the first MLS team, yeah.
All right, Harry, thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate
No
your time.
worries. Thank you. Have a good one, everyone.